She won't tell you who she really is, not in words. But she will show you, quietly, consistently, in moments you almost ignore. Listen carefully. Because what I'm about to share with you isn't something most men are ever taught. Not by their fathers, not by their friends, and definitely not by the women they date. I'm speaking to you as a psychologist, and more importantly, as a woman who understands how deeply character hides beneath charm. You see, attraction can blind you, chemistry can confuse you, and loneliness can make you accept things you should walk away from. A woman's true character does not reveal itself when things are going well. Anyone can be kind when they're happy. Anyone can be affectionate when they want something. The truth only surfaces under pressure, in discomfort, in moments where she has nothing to gain. The first test is simple, but most men fail to notice it. Watch how she treats people who cannot benefit her. Not you, not her boss, not the people she's trying to impress. I mean the waiter, the driver, the stranger who makes a small mistake, the friend who is going through a hard time and has nothing to offer her in return. Does her tone change? Does her patience disappear? Does kindness suddenly feel like an effort? Because character is not selective. A genuinely kind woman doesn't switch it on and off depending on status. If she's warm with you but cold with others, you're not special. You're just temporary. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The way she treats those people is exactly how she will treat you once the novelty fades. At first, you're the exception. Later, you become the standard. Now I want you to think back, honestly. Have you ever ignored this? Have you ever seen small signs, the sarcasm, the dismissiveness, the subtle disrespect toward others, and told yourself it doesn't matter? It does, because those small cracks you overlook in the beginning become the fractures that break you later. The second layer of this test goes deeper. Pay attention to how she talks about people when they're not around. Does she constantly criticize? Does she expose private details? Does she seem to enjoy tearing others down? Because a woman who bonds with you by gossiping will one day use the same language about you. Loyalty is not proven in front of people, it's proven behind their backs. And if she lacks that integrity, no amount of attraction will protect you from what comes later. I've worked with countless men who said the same thing. She was amazing at the beginning, and I always ask them one question. Was she really? Or did you just ignore the signs because you didn't want to lose how she made you feel? That silence you feel right now, that's where truth lives. Let me be clear. This is not about perfection. Everyone has bad days. Everyone gets frustrated. But there is a difference between a moment of weakness and a pattern of behavior. You're not looking for a flawless woman. You're looking for a consistent one. And consistency is something you can only observe when you stop focusing on how she makes you feel and start focusing on who she shows herself to be. Because feelings can lie to you. Character doesn't. So the next time you're with a woman, don't just listen to what she says. Don't just get lost in how she looks at you. Watch what she does when she thinks it doesn't matter. That's where her truth lives. And if you're strong enough to see it early, you'll save yourself from learning it the hard way later. There's a moment in every connection where the mask slips. Not dramatically, not in a way that shocks you, but subtly, almost invisibly. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it, because it doesn't happen when everything is smooth. It happens when something doesn't go her way. This is the second test, how she responds when she's disappointed. I need you to understand something most men learn too late. Disappointment reveals emotional maturity faster than anything else. Anyone can be pleasant when life is aligning with their expectations. But when reality challenges those expectations, that's when her internal world begins to speak. Maybe you couldn't meet her one evening. Maybe you said something she didn't like. Maybe things didn't unfold the way she imagined in her mind. What happens next? Does she communicate or does she punish? Does she express her feelings clearly or does she withdraw, become cold, distant, or passive-aggressive? Because those reactions are not random, they are deeply rooted patterns. A woman who knows how to handle disappointment will tell you what she feels without trying to make you feel small. She won't manipulate the situation to regain control. She won't turn silence into a weapon. But a woman who hasn't developed emotional stability will test you through tension. She'll create confusion instead of clarity, distance instead of dialogue. And here's where most men make a critical mistake. They chase, they over-explain, they apologize excessively, they try to fix something they don't fully understand, and in doing so, they unknowingly reinforce the behavior. You see, if she learns that withdrawing affection gives her power over your emotions, she will use it again. Not always consciously, but effectively. And over time, this becomes a dynamic where you're no longer connecting, you're managing her moods, managing her silence, managing the anxiety of not knowing where you stand. That's not a relationship. That's emotional instability disguised as passion. Now let's go deeper. Pay attention to whether she takes responsibility when things go wrong. This is one of the clearest indicators of character. When there's conflict, and there will be, does she reflect? Does she acknowledge her part? Or does she shift blame entirely onto you? Because accountability is uncomfortable. It requires self-awareness. It requires humility. And not everyone has that. A woman who avoids responsibility will rewrite reality to protect her ego. She'll twist situations, minimize her actions, and amplify yours. Not because she's evil, but because she hasn't learned how to face herself honestly. But here's the cost. You become the emotional scapegoat. And slowly, you start questioning your own perception. You start wondering if you're the problem, if you're too sensitive, if you're overthinking. That confusion, that mental exhaustion, that's what happens when you're with someone who cannot sit with their own flaws. A grounded woman doesn't need to be perfect, but she is willing to grow. She is willing to say, I was wrong. And more importantly, she adjusts her behavior moving forward. Words don't matter if patterns don't change. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you had to walk on eggshells? Where one wrong word could shift her mood entirely? That's not connection. That's instability. And no amount of attraction, no amount of physical chemistry can compensate for that long term, because peace is the foundation of any lasting relationship. Not intensity, not unpredictability, not emotional highs followed by deep lows. Peace. A woman who handles disappointment with grace will bring stability into your life. A woman who turns disappointment into drama will bring chaos. And you have to decide honestly what you're willing to live with. Because ignoring this test doesn't make it disappear. It just delays the moment when it becomes impossible to ignore. Here's something most men never realize. Desire and attraction are not indicators of character. They are distractions, powerful, intoxicating distractions that blind you to reality. This is the third test, and it's the one men stumble on the most. How she behaves when she wants something from you. Watch her closely during moments of pursuit. When she smiles at you, laughs at your jokes, leans in just a little too close. Observe what she is seeking, not just what she is giving, because a woman's true character is often hidden behind charm and flirtation. It's not revealed when she's satisfied. It's revealed in her strategy. Does she use affection as leverage? Does she act warm only when it serves her purpose? Or is her interest consistent regardless of what she can gain? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Many men fall in love with the version of a woman who exists only when she wants something. They mistake attention for care, charm for loyalty, and by the time the pattern emerges, they're already invested. Let me be very clear. Wanting attention, affection, or validation is human. Everyone does. But manipulation is not human. It's intentional. And there's a fine line that most men fail to notice until it's too late. The key is observation, not reaction. Watch what she does when she could easily take or receive without effort, versus when she could lose or risk something by being honest. A woman of integrity doesn't switch between warmth and coldness based on advantage. She doesn't deploy affection like a tool or withdraw it like a punishment. Her heart, even imperfect, is steady. Now here's another layer that most men miss: consistency over time. It's easy to be charming in a single evening. It's easy to impress when everything is exciting and new. But character shows itself in the mundane, in the repetitive, in the ordinary moments where nobody is watching and nothing is at stake. How does she respond when plans go wrong, when she's tired, when she's frustrated by work or life? Does she lash out? Does she project? Or does she maintain composure, showing respect and empathy, regardless of circumstance? Because life is rarely perfect, and a woman who cannot navigate minor disappointments with grace will struggle with major ones, and she may drag you into the chaos with her. Here's where most men make a critical mistake. They reward charm without testing substance. They believe intensity equals depth, drama equals passion, and attention equals devotion. And then they are shocked when patterns of selfishness emerge. Notice this. Selfishness is not always obvious. It often hides behind vulnerability, stories of hardship, or intoxicating confidence. A woman can appear giving while subtly shaping the world around her to suit her desires without any real empathy for how it affects you. And that's the danger. Not the charm itself, it's the cost, the subtle erosion of your energy, your patience, and ultimately, your self-respect. So pay attention to what she seeks from you versus what she offers without expectation. That contrast reveals the architecture of her character. A woman who values you as a person, not as a resource or a thrill, will show it quietly. She won't demand drama to prove attention. She won't manipulate affection to measure loyalty. She will be steady, even when the excitement fades, even when desire wanes. Men. The third test is brutal, because it requires restraint and honesty from you. You have to see clearly. You have to resist the temptation to interpret desire as devotion. You have to watch her patterns without rationalizing or excusing them, because desire can blind you, but character never lies. Now, I want you to think about the last relationship you had, the moments of intense connection. Were they authentic, or were they moments of manipulation disguised as intimacy? That reflection will tell you more than any conversation ever could. Your challenge is simple. Observe without emotion, without defense, without hope. Only then will you see her truth. Are you ready to notice it before it's too late? There is a final, silent test that most men never see coming because it doesn't announce itself. It doesn't happen in grand gestures or dramatic moments. It happens in the quiet decisions she makes when no one is watching, when no reward is guaranteed, when she has nothing to gain. This is the fourth and perhaps most revealing test, how she manages integrity under pressure. Notice how she handles promises. Not the big romantic ones, those are easy. I mean the small, everyday commitments. The ones that seem insignificant but add up over time. Does she follow through consistently? Or does she bend rules, bend truth, or conveniently forget when it's inconvenient? Because a woman who is unreliable in the small things will also be unreliable in the big things. And when those big moments come, moments that truly test love, loyalty, and trust, you'll be left wondering if anything she said or did was real. Pay attention to honesty, even when the truth is uncomfortable. A woman of character doesn't fabricate stories to make herself look better. She doesn't twist situations to manipulate perception. She tells the truth, even when it risks disappointment, conflict, or temporary loss of admiration. Now, here's where men often fail. They conflate charm with honesty. They are dazzled by creativity, humor, or confidence and ignore the subtle patterns of truthfulness. But deception isn't always obvious. It is a shadow in the details. The slight exaggeration, the omission, the convenient narrative that always favors her. And let's talk about accountability. A woman who can admit mistakes, take responsibility, and act to correct them is rare and invaluable. She doesn't point fingers, she doesn't play the victim, and she doesn't make you pay for her missteps. She navigates the complexity of life with humility and grace. Contrast this with a woman who deflects, who blames, who manipulates guilt to control outcomes. That behavior is a red flag. Not temporary frustration or a single bad day, but a pattern, a way of operating that will slowly, subtly erode your confidence, your clarity, and your peace. Another key insight is how she reacts when her world conflicts with yours, when her needs, desires, or ambitions collide with yours. Does she respect your boundaries, consider your feelings, negotiate honestly? Or does she push, demand, or punish? Because a woman of character builds connection without coercion. She seeks harmony without compromising authenticity. She challenges you to grow, not just to satisfy her agenda. And here's the harsh truth. Many men ignore these tests because they are seduced by emotion, excitement, or comfort. They prioritize chemistry over clarity. They confuse attention for affection, passion for partnership, and desire for devotion. But here's the reality. Relationships are built not on emotion alone, but on trust, respect, and predictability. Without these pillars, even the most intense attraction will crumble under pressure. So I want you to do something now. Reflect honestly. Where have you overlooked patterns? Where have you excused behavior because it felt good in the moment? Where have you tolerated inconsistencies that later became fractures? Your awareness is your power, and once you see these patterns clearly, you can choose differently. You can stop investing energy where it is wasted and start building connection where integrity, consistency, and respect exist. Now, here's a question I want you to answer in the comments. If trust is 60%, attraction is 30%, and respect is 10%, which one would you sacrifice and what would it cost you? Think about it, then share your answer. If this video opened your eyes, hit like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this truth, because understanding her character isn't just about dating, it's about protecting your heart, your time, and your life.